What if your identity is just an illusion? Would you believe that this single insight ends fear and overthinking? Watch on and learn a direct method to stop identifying with your thoughts, to let peace arise naturally. The sun and the moon, along with all other things, sit together in one massive and crazy universe of being. Look around, and you'll see insects crawling and animals running. You just can't help taking in the wide variety of plants and flowers you've never heard of, and an incredibly wide spectrum of different people. Have you ever asked yourself where all this came from? How did it get to be this weird and absolutely alive? Some folks say the Almighty God created it all. But, to be honest, what do we really know about God? Who or what is this power? Others say everything comes from pure consciousness, but how many of us have actually experienced that and know it for sure? And then, there are those who mention Parabrahman, a reality supposed to go beyond even God and infinity itself. But again, has anyone actually ever gone to that place? Or is it just another man-made fantasy? Sometimes the only real answer anyone can give is just, I don't know. And that is actual wisdom. Knowing starts with not knowing. The more we pretend to have it all figured out, the further away we get from reality. When you stop and really wonder where all this came from, and start poking at the causes behind the causes, you step right into the core mystery of existence. Once upon a time, very long ago in a faraway land, a student pushed back when his teacher said everything comes from nothing. The student just couldn't digest that. The teacher pointed at an apple tree outside and said, "See that apple tree? Go get me an apple." The student brought the apple. "Crack it open." Then the teacher handed him a razor blade and said, "Take one seed and open it." The student struggled but finally pried it open and found nothing, just emptiness. "What do you see?" "Nothing," said the student. "Exactly." That nothing made the apple tree, the same kind of nothingness that apparently gave us the universe. The whole thing is an illusion. The universe is not what it seems. It is all just some kind of wild projection of the mind. Still, it looks real enough, right? How could it not be real? We're all here, talking and thinking about it after all. It looks like a world full of effects, but the actual cause, if there even is one, never shows up. The world does not have a real I, and it didn't actually come from somewhere. Think about your dreams. Do your dreams have a beginning? Not really. Suddenly you are just there, with trees and people, along with whole stories and conflicts. Everything is already happening. Dreams have no obvious origin or cause. But where did they come from? Psychologists will tell you that it is just mind stuff and nerves. The whole universe plays out just like that, a realm of effects, fundamentally impersonal, until you decide you are in the middle of it and start taking things personally. Catch a cold, and if you are healthy, a cold is just out there. It is not about you. Most of us get drilled from childhood that everyone catches colds. Then you get one, and instead of just seeing it for what it is, you own it. I caught a cold, like it is your destiny. So, right now, take a look at your life. Are you happy or sick? Are you broke or comfortable? Ask yourself if it really matters. Underneath it all, the only thing that's actually important is how you keep identifying with the things and situations around you. There is no universe or God outside yourself. You are the one casting director of this show, and you hired yourself to play every role. Sanskrit calls this whole thing Leela or Maya. It is just a game, a giant illusion. When you identify with it, you get tangled up and suffer. Stop and ask what is actually eating at you right now. No matter if it's work or family, it only has as much weight as you give it. Want out? Change what you identify with. Turn your focus toward what is actually real. If you don't know what that means yet, no worries, just start by scraping away everything you know is not real. Or in the words of Sherlock Holmes, remove all other factors, and the one which remains must be the truth. That's when, bit by bit, reality naturally shows up. The world and the body are but appearances. Strip all that off and just ask, who am I really? But don't rush for words or neat answers. The big reality only shows up in silence. When your mind gets still like a calm lake, the sun and the moon get reflected in it clearly. Let the lake get choppy and nothing reflects. In the same way, when you get quiet inside, your own real nature, pure and aware, just shows up. There is nothing to find and nothing to chase. You already are what you're looking for. Just let the other stuff fall away. Now people love to ask, am I supposed to give up everything? My job and my family, and meditate in a cave? Forget it. The real letting go is about dropping that old mental identification. You'll see more and more that you are not actually your circumstances or your thoughts. As you go, you'll notice a certain kind of peace settling in, less interference, more natural joy. Picture a salesperson. They used to plot and stress over every sale. When the mind empties out and that false me fades away, the body still sells, but now it happens naturally, easily, better than ever. Why? Because the whole universe's nature is joy. That is your nature too. And when you finally get out of your own way, that same force that takes care of the trees and flowers will take care of you too. There is nothing left to worry about. But how do you even start all this? Easy. Simply realize that you really don't know much of anything. Not repeating words from a book or pretending to know, just admit it. How did trees get here? No idea. Did the seed come first or the tree? Who knows? Where did the earth itself start? No clue. That is your starting point. It is like Lao Tse said, the more you talk, the less you know. The less you say, the more you know. When you talk about the world, and the world is not exactly as it seems. When you talk less, where does your attention go? Right. Inside. And that is when things get real. Next thing you do is noticing you exist. That is the one thing you can be sure of. I am. But who is this I? Where did it come from? Do not just parrot consciousness unless you have seen it for yourself. Instead, trace the I to its roots. Keep asking, who am I? Just stick with it. In time, you will start to hit a happiness you cannot explain. There is this growing sense that you cannot really die, that you never really were born, that you have always just been awareness, pure and absolute. Those things will show up when you are ready. Then, after all that, you will realize there is no way to tell your friends or family. Words cannot quite share the feeling. At that point, you have merged with that one thing, the self, and you will see the whole universe as an extension of yourself. Much like that what psychedelics give you a glimpse of. There are not many selves, just one, and it is you. As that certainty gets stronger, and you will find yourself naturally being good to everyone, as if you really are them. Words will fail, and you will just get on with living consciousness itself. Honestly, what you think you are right now is not real. It is some kind of deep hypnosis. All the sticky problems gripping you are just temporary illusions. Nothing here is what it seems. So start digging. Try it. What have you got to lose? Don't just believe a word of it without your own experience. This isn't religion. Stay home, look inside, watch your thoughts, and ask, who is this happening to? Who thinks these thoughts? Keep at it and watch. Sooner or later, freedom just shows up. No one is doing anything to anyone. You are pure awareness, beyond subject and object. It just looks that way because you are in the middle of this dream. Once you really wake up, the illusion drops away, and you are free. If you would like further support in stabilizing in the sense of pure being, you can join our online retreat. It combines teachings and guided meditations that lead you through 11 days, helping you naturally build the habit of meditating on a regular basis. And if you prefer to have a personal meditation at hand, we offer that as well. You can find all the information in the description box. This channel is made possible by the support of this community. Thank you to everyone. A huge shout out to our Patreon and YouTube members.